Welcome, everyone, to That Kind of Nerds podcast, a weekly show that tells you what is going on in the nerdy world. I am CJ Mellon, joined by Josh Burns and Brian Thornton.
What up?
Hey, what's up?
You want to do that again without hitting something on the desk?
No,
It's gonna be in the. It's gonna be in
don't
the
care.
show.
Don't care. Hang on, I'll drop something else on the desk.
If this is your first time listening to the show, I'm going to actually recommend that you go to intro.thatkindofnerd.com, learn a little bit about us, a little bit about the show, and then dive headfirst into this episode.
That seems like a mistake.
Okay, all right.
I mean, just learning about us in general seems like a mistake.
Oh, okay, yeah. Putting effort into to learn who we are, absolutely. All right.
Yeah.
That makes total sense. I'm with you on that one.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Except for Josh. Josh is lovely.
I'm fascinating.
Let's just jump headfirst into it in a segment that we call Screen to Stream, where we talk about everything from movies and TV. Listen, there's some good things happening. On Tuesday, fair people, tomorrow, you will be having Disney Plus officially launching.
Is it tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow.
That's exciting.
I know, right? So there'll be Anna Kendrick movies playing in Brian's house. And
There will be.
terrible CGI dogs. And
There will
nowhere to
be
sight.
one Christmas movie played before Thanksgiving, and it will be that Anna Kendrick movie.
You're not going to go directly to like The Mandalorian or
I mean, it depends. If I'm with my wife, it's
My
going to be
wife.
Lady and the Tramp and Noelle. If I'm by myself, it's going to be Mandalorian. She has no desire to watch Mandalorian. I'll watch that.
But I did want to talk about the other newer streaming service for a little bit, Apple TV Plus, because they have announced a few things. One of them being renewal of 4 of its flagship series already. Now, to really kind of put this in perspective, the first season isn't even done. Episodes 5 aren't even aired yet for some of these shows. I have watched the first 3 episodes, I believe, of For All Mankind. And I'm actually kind of digging that show a little bit. I have not dug into. Yes, it's very nice to see my home country featured so prominently in the show. I of course don't mean that of the USSR. Of course, mean America. But
I thought you were talking about Florida.
very happy to see that the right people get on the moon the first time. You know what I mean? Yes.
I'm not watching any of this.
I haven't watched a single Apple TV Plus thing.
I will say this.
I haven't. I just haven't watched anything.
I know I never liked Joel Kinnaman, right? Is that his name? The guy from Suicide Squad?
I like him in one thing.
I like him when he's a bad guy. When he's like when he was in House of Cards.
Nah,
he was pretty good.
He was good in House of Cards. I like him in 2 things.
When he plays the dick, he's really good.
In Altered Carbon, he was really good too.
Okay, but when he plays when he's supposed to be playing the guy you're rooting for,
This is Rick Flag you're talking about?
No,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
He's not the highlight of this show, but they have already confirmed that Dickinson, For All Mankind, C, and The Morning Show are getting second seasons.
Because they just love spending money.
I mean,
Gotta break out that
Congratulations.
Jennifer Aniston money.
they can. These shows have not been doing very well via the
No,
critics.
they critically, for the most part, critically have been panned. I don't know what the streaming numbers look like, but it can't be that good. Not after 4 episodes.
Yeah.
They're releasing them week to week, right? There's
Yeah,
no like,
yeah.
oh, we just, someone
Nope.
binged all 10 episodes of C, right?
Not even all the critics have seen all 10 episodes of For All Mankind or for other shows. They haven't even
Yeah.
seen all of them yet.
They've just been panning all of these shows since
Yeah.
launch.
So, okay.
So yeah, so that's a good investment. Way to go, Tim.
In the proud tradition of let's continue to just waste our tremendous amount of money that we have, Apple TV Plus announced that they will be doing I can't do this anymore. A series from M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong coming to Apple TV Plus called Servant.
This is the first series that looks interesting.
Really?
Really?
I'm
What?
actually interested in this. It looks weird. Looks weird. I'm down.
Will you please walk the people through the premise of this show and why you find it interesting?
They hire a live-in nanny for a doll because I guess from what I can gather from the trailer, they lost their infant
They lost their
due
infant
to-
when they
13
were
weeks,
13
according
weeks
to the
old.
trailer.
Right.
due to some unforeseen accident or thing, and the wife went crazy. So in order to bring her back to life, she cares for this doll, and they hired a nanny for this doll, and the nanny's a little creepy. I don't know. I just think
This reminds me of everything of The Happenings dialogue.
It looks creepy AF. It doesn't look at that. No, there's nothing wrong with the dialogue. There's barely any dialogue in it. You know, the only thing that worries me.
It's gonna be. It was always a doll. There was never a baby. Everybody's
No. The girl is actually the baby grown up. Like I know this is. Stupid.
I mean, I don't know what twist is going to happen.
There's a twist.
Baby's a boy.
There's a twist. It's
baby's a
M Night
boy.
Shyamalan Ding Dong. There is a twist.
How do you? M Night Shyamalan past 2 movies haven't had any twist.
Really? What would happen at the end of Split or Splice, whatever the hell that movie was called?
Split.
Yeah, it was a total twist.
There was the twist at the end.
That wasn't a twist.
That's
an
a
Easter
twist.
egg. That is not a twist.
That's a twist.
That is not a twist.
That's a twist.
No, it's not.
It's a twist.
No, it's not.
It's
That's
a twist.
That's not a twist.
It's a twist.
That's a twist.
What is the twist about it? The story had ended. The twist was not.
The story was not done
The story was done.
The story
that
was not
story
done.
was done.
because that twist at the end. ended
That
the
was
story.
not a twist. It's called an.
It's a twist. It's called a twist.
I'm gonna Google this shit.
What? What is Google going to solve? Google can't solve the fact that that was a twist or not.
Oh yeah, I can, because apparently autocomplete does say does Split have a twist ending?
The answer is yes.
Yes.
It takes
it's a
place
twist.
inside Unbreakable. Oh my god, this is connected. What a twist. What everybody said when they left the movie. Oh, what a twist. That's a twist.
I was thinking more so The Visit. I don't think The Visit had any sort of twist. And Glass, I guess Glass did have a twist.
Yeah, twisty. Surprise. So anyway, this looks terrible. 2 to 3.
Doesn't look terrible.
2 to 1. This looks so dumb.
Pretty dumb.
It is. I will at least check out the first episode. I'm not like, 10 episodes in. I will watch 1 episode. Was freaking did I see Ron Weasley? Was that Ron Weasley?
Yeah,
Ron
Rupert
Weas-
Grint.
Yeah.
Ron
what I
Weasley was
thought.
in this, but that's not enough to save this.
I didn't say that. I was just saying, oh hey, he's in it. Can't I just make observations?
You totally can.
Great. Ron Weasley's in this.
Wow, what a twist.
I'll throw something at you.
All right, let's talk about something that actually looked good in my opinion. Then this is just my opinion. Actually, Brian, I remember that you thought this looked good. We also got a trailer for the movie The Banker on Apple TV Plus.
Oh yeah, this did look interesting.
Anthony Mackie, Samuel L. Jackson, and how was he get his name wrong? What's his name? And Nicholas Hoult. This looks pretty interesting. It's actually inspired by a true story, which I always take a little bit of suspect when it's inspired by a true story. What part of the story was it inspired by? Hopefully the truth. But it looks pretty cool. Bunch of guys back in the 20s buying banks, pulling over on Whitey. There we go.
It's a con movie.
1954, right?
Yeah, all right. I didn't obviously pay attention to the details.
Obviously.
I think it was like at the very beginning of the trailer. It was like it's 1954.
All right. Well, I was a bit intention. 1954. It's a con movie, as Brian just said. It's
Yeah,
a con movie.
Con movie. I love con movies.
Down for a con movie.
I'm in.
Joshua, when I was watching you watch the trailer, which it wasn't as creepy as it sounds, I was respectfully keeping my distance away from the window.
Yeah.
You were making some grimacy faces. So what do you feel about The Banker?
I mean, I got through half the trailer and I wasn't impressed, so I shut off the trailer.
Okay.
Like I got through half the trailer and I was like, I'm not even sure what's happening and I don't care. And so that was the end of that trailer for me.
That buying banks make money, but they can't buy banks because there's Samuel L. Jackson and Anthony Mackie, so they get Nicholas Hoult to do it for them.
I get it. I'm just
con.
like, meh.
It's Samuel L. Jackson.
I don't know how you can say no to this just based on principle.
I mean, there's a lot of Sam Jackson movies I haven't seen. Yeah, there's a ton of Sam Jackson movies I've never seen and won't see.
Like the Hitman and Bodyguard 2. Like I won't see that at all.
Like I never saw Shaft.
Well,
Oh, not the new one, but the one from 2000 is good.
I didn't see Unicorn Store.
I haven't even heard of that.
Right. I didn't see the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar
Peculiar
Children.
Friends.
That was
No.
actually a pretty good
No, it's not
movie.
bad.
Didn't
Are we
see-
just gonna go through his entire filmography because he's been in like 6,000 movies?
Here we are back again to a 2-to-1 split. All right, 2-to-1 split on The Banker and M. Night Shyamalan and Ding Dong's series Servant. One's a movie though, one's a series.
Yeah, one's only an hour and 40 minutes of my time. The other one is like 13. That's why I'm saying I'm only watching the first episode of Servant. If it doesn't,
Don't
it doesn't
do any
hook
of
me.
that and watch a show that you're supposed to watch. Don't add new things.
Listen.
Jumper. I'll go watch that again instead of watching this thing.
Jumper was a good movie.
Jumper was not a good movie.
No, it wasn't a good movie, but I'm going to go watch it again anyway.
That seems like a waste of your time.
All right, so moving away from Apple TV Plus, we can turn our attention back to the broader sense of movies and TVs. There was an interesting trailer for the movie The Invisible Man. Now, this isn't Dark Universe The Invisible Man stuff.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be.
But it's Blumhouse. I don't think it was.
It's produced by Universal as well.
Yeah, produced by Universal, but Blumhouse, which means not Dark Universe.
Which means Universal hired Blumhouse to help co-produce. Like,
right, but
I'm not saying this is the Dark Universe or even was supposed to be the Dark Universe.
You just said it was supposed to be.
No, I did not say that.
Jimmy, rewind the tape. Would you mind? Now, this isn't Dark Universe The Invisible Man stuff.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be.
Josh, this stars our friend Elizabeth Moss.
It does, and I'm on record as saying people that are good on TV don't necessarily make good movies.
Correct.
And Elizabeth Moss and Aldous Hodge, they're both solid on TV. No, I'm no interest in this.
Oh, really? Like, not at all?
None. The trailer was creepy as shit.
It was a creepy trailer, but it didn't strike me as like horror. It
no,
definitely
thriller.
Suspenseful. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't see these two carrying a film.
Okay. Brian, what are your thoughts on The Invisible Man? As a person...
Who's Alexis whatever?
What?
Josh.
What?
Elizabeth Moss and who?
Aldous Hodge.
Oh, Aldous. Who the fuck is that?
He was on the show. Like, probably his biggest credit was Leverage, with Timothy Hutton. Well, he was in Straight Outta Compton, a small role in Die Hard with a Vengeance, Hidden Figures, but his biggest role was probably the role of whatever he played in Leverage. It was a solid role.
That, and I think Hidden Figures was his second biggest one then.
Yeah, like I know he was in it, but he played MC Ren in Straight Outta Compton, and that was a pretty big movie, so I'll give him that. But like, I'm not. Oh, Jack Reacher. He had a decent role in Never Go Back.
Oh, okay.
But again, this is not a guy that's going to carry a movie, and he's like, he gets top billing up there with Elizabeth Moss. Why can't I speak tonight?
I don't know.
This podcast brought to you by Far Too Much Coffee.
So, Brian, as a person who's been slowly dipping his toe into the horror thriller scene and becoming a little bit more, enthused with that genre, what do you think about this movie?
I don't know. I'm not seeing it in the theater. I'll check it out on, I don't know what streaming service, I guess.
Peacock or
Well, it's Universal, right? So that, I mean, where do those movies go?
They will eventually be going to Peacock.
Yeah.
What the hell's Peacock now?
That's
gonna
the NBC
be their streaming
Universal
service.
streaming service. Yep.
What?
All I want are those Tracy Morgan, I'm as proud as a peacock things to be the whole promo for the entire service. That's all I want in my life. Yes, that is the announced but very secretive streaming service from NBC. We don't know anything about it.
I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly.
All right, guys, we got to be careful for the next topic. We got to creep right into the next place, okay?
Yeah.
We got a trailer for Pixar's new movie called Soul. And then Brian, when I was saying, hey, this movie looks pretty interesting, he goes, what's it about? And I said, it's about a musician kind of struggling to find his way and then kind of has to get help from the other side, right, to go ahead and kind of find his life journey. And Brian looks at me and he has a couple words, and he just looks at me and he says...
So it's Coco.
To which I sat there and said, oh, shit, you're kind of right.
One of the top comments on this YouTube video says, at first I thought this was going to be a cool city movie about music, but Disney was like, nah, Blue Short character time. And I'm watching the trailer as I'm reading this, and I'm like, it is Blue Short character time.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Another comment says, I was loving this until he fell into the sewer.
That was it. When they were talking about finding your passion, what do you want to be remembered for? And seeing people say, I don't want to work at, like, the guy who, like, pushes away the computers. What am I doing? And this guy going to music. I'm like, this is going to be great. And then he falls down a manhole cover, just falls down a sewer hole, and he's in the afterlife. And I'm like, oh, I mean, I'm still going to cry, but, like, I was kind of hoping for the other movie, please. Like, if
But
you
now
think,
you get to see little blue person do cowboy dances and be voiced by Tina Fey.
was that who it was?
Yeah, it's Tina Fey.
Oh, all right. I mean, they've won every Academy Award except for one that they've been up against. So, I mean, I'm going to see this, but I really kind of like the first movie. I didn't like this one.
Yeah. I while I like Jamie Foxx, I can do without Tina Fey in general.
She's just a voice. You're fine.
Nah. At least they still have John Ratzenberger.
Very
in it.
important.
They will always have John Ratzenberger.
No, I understand. Well, at some point he's gonna die, Brian.
What?
What?
Oh yeah,
That's just silly.
it's gonna happen, and people are gonna be like, "Fuck you, 2019."
Whoa, you're wishing.
Wow,
I mean,
you're
we've only got a
putting
few
the
weeks
stamp
left.
on him this year.
Yeah,
He's 72 years old. I mean, it's gonna happen.
yeah, but not 2019. What kind
Fuck
of?
you, 2020.
Wow, another just
You're only
a
giving him
year?
another year.
Whoa,
Man,
fuck you, 3026.
do you have some sort of direct line to the Green Reaper that I don't know about?
The Green Reaper? No.
The green and the grim. Both. The Green Reaper plays the flute while still wearing the mask.
Yeah.
No, that's the Pod Piper.
The
The
Pod
Pod Piper?
Yeah,
Yes, the
there we
Pod
go.
Piper.
We all can't speak today.
The
All three of
green-
us doing a podcast incapable of speaking.
The
It's
Green
freaking-
Ripper, the Grim Reaper.
The Grim Riper, right? And all of it.
That,
all of it
it's
together.
that daylight savings time, man. It's fucked with
Oh
me.
my God. I have been listening to Laura talk about the time change for a week now. The clock went back 1 hour.
It's got me all fucked up, Josh.
And I get like, oh, it's the time change. And I'm like, what? You got an extra hour of sleep. How's this fucking with you? Right? And like every time anything was even a little awry,
Right.
I would send her a text that was like, must be the time change. Or like, and I'm like, look, it's only an hour. It takes no time to get over that. It doesn't even take an hour to get over
For you,
for anyone.
for you, you
For anyone.
superhuman.
For anyone.
Nah, I'm still struggling, man.
Well, now that we're done talking about the Disney Pixar trailer here, let's talk about the next Disney trailer from Hulu, which is a Femme Fatale movie called Reprisal, and it looks
I
pretty.
thought it was a series.
It is. I'm sorry. It is a series. You're correct. It's still, though, a Disney thing because Hulu is owned by Disney now.
That doesn't have any. Disney
Just to
branding
remind
on
you that Disney owns everything. This is technically a Disney movie.
Yeah,
Series.
It's a series.
All right, this is technically a Disney series. So, Josh, you are obviously a fan of the Femme Fatale series. So,
Fatale.
series. Josh, you're obviously a huge fan of the Femme Fatale stories.
Fatale.
Oh my God, Josh, you obviously love these kinds of stories. So, why don't you tell me a little bit about your thoughts on Reprisal?
I like what's her name played Scotty on Suits. I like that.
Yes, I was like, thank you. That's where she's from.
Wasn't
Yeah.
she on Timeless? The main girl.
I don't know what that is.
It was that show that was good. That was on. Then got canceled. Then came back. Then got canceled again. And people are still upset.
No, I have no idea.
Time travel
That's it.
show.
She was also in Mad Men. It's Abigail Spencer. She was also
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Mad Men and True Detective as well. But yes, Scotty from Suits is the first thing that came to my brain. But good.
Yeah.
Tell me about this.
Okay. I like Femme Fatale stories. I've watched this trailer twice. I'm still not sold. I will.
Really?
Yeah. If I need like something to kill an hour, maybe I'll check this out. But like, I'm not sure.
Well, here's the cool thing. Unlike Apple TV Plus, on Hulu, they are going to drop all of these episodes, all of them, on December 6th. So, boom. You just kill it out in a weekend.
Boom.
Done. But it looks pretty cool. I love seeing some of this action looks pretty intense. The storyline looks really interesting. Hulu Originals, when they have the bad guys, I don't know if you guys have seen Shut Eye at all. I know it was on my list of things to recommend you watch. But they always kind of have these weird generic feeling bad guys. They're never 100% thought out. They're just 90% there, and then they fail on that 10%. But this looks pretty cool, and I kind of can't wait to see where it goes. Brian, what about you?
I'm interested. I too enjoy Femme Fatale movies, and
I believe it's pronounced Fatale.
I will tell you, CJ,
Tell me
that
I say Femme
I would
Fatale.
love to tell you that I would add this to the list, but I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna try to make time for it.
Now,
I
hold
enjoy
on.
it.
You're
like
gonna
her.
watch one
Looks
episode
interesting.
of M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong Servant, but you won't watch one episode of this.
I absolutely will watch one episode of this, but it's dropping the whole thing. So I mean, I'm in it. I'm obligated to watch it all if I so desire to enjoy it. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna give it a shot. We'll see. It's on the list. It's much higher than some other things on the list.
I'll say. Okay.
I don't know how Fatale this femme is. Like, maybe she's just pulling the strings. Maybe she's not actually like kicking the ass. I don't know. Seems like she's like becoming a mob boss. I'm interested. I'll check it out. I like it. Looks cool. I like con shit and I like mobster shit. So far I'm in for 2 of these.
She was blah blah on How I Met Your Mother.
She was blah blah.
Oh, there we go.
She was blah blah. You are correct.
Thank you. That makes things a lot. Thank you. Now that makes me feel better. All right. This next story is interesting. There is a movie coming out called Finding Jack that will tell the story of a U.S. soldier who nurses wounded yellow Labrador retrievers back to health after they're serving in Vietnam. The film is based off a 2013 novel, which was based off a actually true story where we left over 10,000 military dogs just in Vietnam at the end of the conflict. And there's a character called Rogan, who's the platoon leader, who is kind of integral into saving some of these animals' lives. He's a minor character. And they were looking around to find what actor would be the best person to play this character, and they landed on, let me check my notes here, James Dean, to go ahead and play this character, because he could totally do it. He's available. Wait a minute. He died in 1955 at the age of 24. So this is happening, and apparently people are not happy about this. Before we get to the celebrities' thoughts and feelings on this, what do we feel of a completely CGI'd character from the grave making an appearance in this movie?
That just seems silly.
Why?
Right?
There's plenty of people who will take that job.
So
who are real.
They're
real
going
people.
to use CGI, and they're also going to have stand-ins that are going to have computer-generated imagery taken over for their face, and using a lot of extra footage.
Stupid.
So here we go. The people of Jane Dean's estate have signed off on this, because why not? They're getting
of course
all the
they
money,
have. They're
right?
cashing that check.
They're getting all that money. The family views this as his 4th film, a movie that he never got to make, and we will do everything to make sure we don't let his fans down.
I'm sure James Dean was a huge fan of this book that was written in 2012 as well. So I'm sure he's proud of being involved in this.
Considering he was 24 when he died in 1955, they've already greenlit the sequel, and that starred River Phoenix. So
yeah, will Marilyn Monroe be making an appearance?
She might.
This is different than the Carrie Fisher stuff going on with Star Wars, and the other one in Rogue One where they brought that actor back from
Peter Cushing.
They did the CGI version of but the thing with Peter Cushing is he agreed that he was going to be that character. Like, he said, I've read that I will be this character in other Star Wars, and obviously it was pretty clear that he wasn't there in person, but they're trying to make this look as real to life as possible. This is fucked up, right? We can all agree this is weird. So Elijah Wood says, nope, this shouldn't be a thing. And Chris Evans said, I'm sure he'd be thrilled, roll eye emoji. This is awful. Maybe we can just get a computer to paint us a new Picasso. Or maybe have John Lennon write a few new songs. The complete lack in understanding here is shameful. So this is something we have to deal with now. Robin Williams specifically stated that no one's allowed to use his appearance after his death for 20 years or something like that? Like, no one can use his his likeness or his image in any movies. Like he at least thought ahead of this.
His daughter was vocal about this too. So she called it, quote, puppeteering the dead.
Whoa! Hot
Wow.
damn!
Yeah,
Not pulling any punches.
Zelda Williams not fucking around over
Goddamn
there.
right. Well, good for her. Well, this is bullshit, and I can't wait to see this movie do not too well. And then they'll have to reverse course on this. And
No, they'll just lose a bunch of money. And
they're not going to do this, right? They're not. This backlash is too strong. They're not actually going to do this, right? They've got the
They
press
already
now
spent-
for the movie. They
already spent the money on the likeness. You don't think they're going to at least try? You don't think they'll try to spin this?
I don't know. You tell me, Mr. Hollywood. I hope not.
I'm not involved in this decision. You freaking kidding me?
I'm sure there's insurance for spending that much money and not being able to use it, right? Isn't that
Doubt
what the whole
it.
producers is about?
Doubt it.
Now, since we're talking about reboots, we might as well just get on to the next one, which Josh, I think you found, and it has to deal with Zorro.
Zorro. Apparently, there's a spin-off or reboot, of course.
A reboot?
Yeah. So it's going to be about Zorro's legacy, focused on Zorro's legacy. But it's going to be a female protagonist.
Okay.
And while I'm on record as loving female, like femme fatale, blah blah blah, this is not new for us. It's not new landscape we're covering here. I don't understand how you take a period piece like Zorro and completely change the story and call it focusing on legacy.
Are they doing like a modernization of this? Like, are they?
And that was my other thought was,
Right.
Okay, so you make it like Romeo and Juliet, right? Where you can modernize it while still sort of capturing the essence of what Zorro is.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, the series is.
Oh no, it's all set in modern. So here, the female Zorro series will not focus on the original swordsman, but actually set in the modern day. And the series will follow Z, a descendant of the same lineage of the original Zorro,
Okay.
and her efforts to protect her people and her community.
Yeah, that's all well and good, but like Zorro was like a masked swordsman. I don't see how you like.
You can't bring a sword out in modern times, right? It's it was even weird in Highlander.
The closest thing, basically you can just pluck one of the characters from Arrow, right, and basically just call it Zorro, like any one of the female characters, essentially. You know what I mean? That's Brian. Tell me I'm crazy.
I'm not really sure what your point is.
Well, like you take Speedy out of Arrow and you give her a black outfit instead of a red one, and
Sure.
you say you're Zorro now, and she's like, "Oh, I know how to use a sword. I was trained."
Sure. I mean, Batwoman is technically Zorro. I mean, any vigilante is technically Zorro.
Yeah, but
Just with
Batwoman
no
didn't use a
sword.
sword
She's trained.
in swordsmanship.
Sure.
But you're saying sure, but do you mean sure?
I mean, sure.
No, see, I don't think you do.
Okay, but my point is, like, Batman had some very heavy influences in Zorro. So by the transitive property, Batwoman would also have same influences.
I don't know.
If we wanted to take the female approach from it,
His were of shadows,
at the end of the day, if you're a vigilante
League
who
of
is
Assassins,
who is not killing people, you're Zorro.
So is this trying to cash in on the superhero?
female, so hot right now.
Yeah, female
Females.
superhero stories and being like, yeah, that sounds great. And they're like, you know what? I just got my answer. This is for CBS. So yeah, they are. Because they don't have any properties that are superhero related right now. So
Yeah, they lost Supergirl, so here you go.
the only thing they have is Zorro.
Zorro's in the public domain, so why not? That's really all it comes down to. Is we need a character that we can make a superhero type show out of, but we can't touch Marvel or DC. What do we got? Well, you have Zorro, Robin Hood, and King Arthur. Okay, well, Zorro it is. That's all this is.
All right, well, grasping at straws for CBS. Go for you, buddy.
Listen, you read that synopsis, and I'm not going to lie, the synopsis sounds like a show that should have come out in 2002, and it probably would have done very well with like,
Right.
the dark and gritty with like leather pants and stuff like that. I don't know. It's going to be it's a very hard sell.
CBS All Access. That's what this is probably. How do we get people that streaming
That's the
service?
funny part. They'll put this shit on cable for everyone to see. Yet anything that they think is good, they'll put on All Access.
Be way better off turning it into like some sort of a furry woodland creature.
Did you see Elf is on TV today? Ooh, the fairy sprite was protecting them from a giant cat.
Right.
All right. Well,
what?
So no, dude, just go with the flow. Go with the flow today. Today's go with the flow kind of day.
I feel like flowing.
Just keep swimming. So I had a thought the other week, and it was nice to see that I was not the only one with this thought, because there's an article here that says Netflix and Spotify may be required to issue emergency alerts from the government, just like TV and radio.
Good.
I was thinking about this with most people not listening to the radio in their car, right? And with most people doing some kind of streaming, and sometimes some people put their phones away from them when they watch TV. I don't know how they do that, but they do.
I do it.
I was thinking to myself, if I'm driving in my car listening to a podcast, like if there was something going on, I wouldn't know unless my phone buzzed or a road sign told me. I would have no idea that this was going to happen. So getting the idea that Disney Plus, Spotify, Netflix, all these streaming services would have to do something to kind of keep you alert to important things like Amber Alerts, or
these are only the big ones. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like I'm on board for this. What do you guys think? Is this just the inevitable evolution of us being in a place where we're not necessarily connected to traditional stuff, or is this kind of intruding on the fact of I left those services for this?
Yeah, no, nobody left cable because they were getting too many tests of the emergency broadcast system.
Once a day, they got me.
I mean, it's just something that happens during Hogan's Heroes, and you get used to it. And so what, right? I mean, there's got to be a way to be like, hey, there's a fucking tornado. You know what I mean? Like that. Because you wouldn't know, because you're watching your whatever in your parents' basement. Calm down. It's fine.
No, but honestly though, don't people always have their cell phones with them, and these things come through on a cell phone no problem? Why do we need them to be on a streaming service?
Because maybe they're not looking at their phone. Like, if I need to focus on what I'm watching, my phone goes on do not disturb because I do not want to be disturbed.
Right, true. Well, it's time for me to do my favorite hobby. Yes, coin collecting. No, it's where I go around the internet. I find the weird, I find the obscure, and I ask these two gentlemen for their tech perspective. Josh, we'll talk about this topic between you and I, because I know Brian has zero interest in this one whatsoever. Google is buying Fitbit for a ton of money to make Google Wear OS actually, usable. This is a pretty big move because Fitbit is a very popular.
Yeah, it's hugely popular, and like even with kids, like this is a big deal for like kids, like my daughter's age, 9-10 years old. How?
Well, people know what a Fitbit is, and no one knows what a Google Wear OS device is.
Well, obviously, right, and it's become what Fitbit has managed to do is the thing that Apple has done several times in the past couple decades, which is completely, corner at least the mind share part of the market, right? Like people say, hey, where do you keep your Fitbits? And they mean all fitness tracking devices.
Correct.
They don't mean a Fitbit per se.
Right.
Like where do you keep your iPods? The one for $20.
Right.
What? No, the iPod, the $20 iPod that you advertised. Well, you mean the little creative thing. No, I mean an iPod. No, you don't. It's an MP3 player. It's the exact same thing. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant move for Google. Bold move, Cotton.
The other part, too, with this comes all of obviously Fitbit's assets. But with the other interesting thing about this, when I was researching this, was Google, I should say, bought a lot of patents from Fossil for their smartwatches, which weren't doing that well. So they bought Fossil smartwatches as well. So it really seems like they're going to be making a push to compete with the Apple Watch, which is great.
Slow down, Turbo.
What?
I mean, no.
What do you mean no?
I mean, no. They flat out will not be able to compete with the Apple Watch.
They'll compete with it. I'm not saying they're going to win. They're going to compete.
They're not going to compete. In order to compete, you have to actually be competitive. This is not going to be a thing. It's not even going to be in the same class.
Okay. I disagree with you on that one. I think Google has been really making a push to try to make Wear OS actually a thing.
Which is why they bought Fitbit.
Right.
Because Wear OS was so successful.
No, it's a big pile of donkey crap.
That it didn't require a complete rebrand.
Yes, they need to completely rehaul this. That's why they just paid like $2.1 billion for this company.
That's great.
No?
You're turning a smartwatch into a fitness tracker.
Yeah, which is really what the Apple Watch did. It went from being a complete smartwatch to, oh gosh, health and fitness. That's what happened.
That's not all it did, and that's not all it did.
But from Series 0 to where the Apple Watch is now, the Apple Watch now is the world's best health and fitness tracker.
World's best
health and fitness tracker, right? That happens to tell you your text messages. Find me another use for the Apple Watch besides telling me how far I walked, closing my rings, and seeing what my texts are.
Are you serious?
What are the other? How else do you use an Apple Watch?
I don't.
Those are the only two uses.
I don't use any watch, so I can't speak to why anybody wears watches. You have a phone, right?
Yes.
Well, you're all set.
I disagree with you that, but I do want to say one thing that definitely caught my eye with this, and Brian, I can hear the eye rolls now, sir. Since Google just bought Fitbit, that means they bought Coin. And they bought Pebble.
Nobody cares.
Thank you.
Nobody does care, but I do.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cared when you had Coin and a Pebble.
The only time we cared is when your coin was not able to be used and it was wasted and I had to pay for lunch and that was fun.
One time at a McDonald's.
It was at a Burger King.
Oh, okay.
And that's the only time anybody cared about anything with your coin.
Long live Apple Pay.
Just stop.
Brian, I've got the next topic that I think is tailor-made for you, buddy.
Is it? Because it's tech perspective. This is my time to nap.
Tailor-made for you, especially from back in the day, right? When you were living in a palatial estate, outnumbered by cats everywhere. I know you valued your privacy, right?
Sure.
You had to value your privacy, especially in the shared spaces where your butler and your folding mate would probably take up a lot of space.
Sure, yeah. Okay.
Just kind of wish you could hide away, right? Maybe watch some HBO, some Habo programming, if I may. Well, if you were a college student back in then, this would really help you out because HBO has announced their newest product, the box.
You just described an entire lifestyle of a man not in college and then told me if I were in college, I could have this.
Well, I never said I was good at segues, so this is the only thing I've got, Brian. Don't take this away from me.
What is the box, CJ? Besides, what's in the box?
The box, Brian, it's a fucking box. It's a box that you sit inside to have privacy when you watch HBO.
Brian, it's log. It's big, it's heavy, it's wood.
I have a box that is also my time machine. But will that work as well?
Only if it runs on Doritos. I saw that on TV once, so that has to be true.
Exciting. I mean, this one runs on Dreams, which I have none.
It's better than bad. It's good.
Oh my gosh, I'm really sad I can't find. Remember a few months ago, there was that product where the guy put the thing over his face and went to a park and watched TV.
Yeah,
and we mocked it relentlessly.
Yeah,
it's that again.
Yeah. Yeah, except this one doesn't look like a trash can.
No, it really is just a fucking box. But it goes over from basically your head down to your knees. So I don't know what you're doing in the box.
No, seriously though, this isn't a joke.
No, this is a real thing they're doing.
No, it's not.
Yes, Are you sure about that?
HBO box challenge giveaway. You tweet, you enter into it, you get a free year of HBO, you get some stickers, and you get a fucking box.
Dude,
no, it's not a real product. They're not going to sell
well,
the
then
box.
What are we talking about?
It's just a way to promote HBO to college kids. To get them to get HBO.
Yeah,
right?
Josh, the market with all sorts of disposable income to buy HBO subscriptions with.
Absolutely.
I really don't. What's the... Okay.
The company behind its wacky promotional stunt is offering HBO subscribers that are in college the opportunity to win HBO, some swag, and of course a fucking box. It's a box.
If they do what?
You just tweet out this tweet. I don't know, dude. I wasn't going to put that much energy into this. Anyway, HBO. They made a box. What will we'll think of next? Josh, this is definitely stuff for you and I right now, buddy.
Okay.
AT&T is in a little bit of trouble, and then also decided to just piss off all its customers all at once. And I figured we'd just talk about it because some of us have that. AT&T got fined $60 million for throttling its quote-unquote unlimited data plans.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So they were
I have the unlimited.
slowing them down. But so, Brian, they got slapped on the wrist because they were throttling you when they weren't supposed to, because
How's that?
unlimited doesn't mean anything. So you know what they did? They said, damn it, we just got hit with $60 million worth of fines. So here's what we're going to do. If you're on one of our select mobile plans, we're going to give you some bonus data. So congratulations, you now get bonus data on your account. It costs $10 a month, but you get bonus data.
But I don't. I already have unlimited.
Right, but if you have the 15 gigs worth of if you're on the mobile share value plan, congratulations, you're getting an extra.
So what I'm hearing is all the peasant AT&T subscribers are paying for this lawsuit, right?
Well, I don't know about peasant, but yeah. But here's the thing, you can't opt out of this. It's a bonus that costs you $10 a month, and you can't opt out. You have to change your plan.
Okay.
What the hell is this?
Josh, what the hell is this?
Well, I don't know what CJ's talking about. I wanted this to be I wanted people with AT&T to know that you may be due some sort of monies.
Sure, but you're just going to try to get out of the other subscribers.
Do I get anything out of this $60 million fine?
You might.
Well, that's
I
good to
don't
know.
know.
Just
I
like
mean,
like the Yahoo breach or the
you're gonna have to
Equifax?
check that shit out for yourself. I'm sure that there's probably some sort of class action paperwork that was sent to you. I don't know.
Not yet.
I know that when I get class action paperwork, it goes directly into the trash.
But this wasn't a lawsuit brought by their customers. This is the FTC.
Yeah, it was the FTC.
So-
well, then there's got to be some sort of communication to customers.
I don't know if you've looked at the FTC lately. No.
I don't. I just thought I'm not an AT&T user and this does not apply to me. But a lot of people use AT&T, and if you're due money, you should get that money.
You're not due money. As a matter of fact, you now owe money. That's what the hell just happened to
I'm
this.
not due any money.
Who owes money?
If you are on their mobile share value plan,
If you're on any plan other than unlimited, they're charging you $10
Who is
extra.
on a plan that isn't unlimited
I don't
anymore?
know.
people.
I'm on
lots-
unlimited.
I know people who are.
Are you serious?
I'm
Seems
serious. I know someone.
What is it really saving them? $15 a month?
I don't know. I don't know what they're saving. I hope it was $10 a month, because now they're not saving anything.
I don't even look at how much data I use because it doesn't fucking matter.
I know, but here's my part. You can't call something a bonus and then say, oh, and it costs $10. If I went to work and they said, hey, everybody, we're giving you a bonus, I said, yeah. And they're like, and now give us money. I would be like, what? What the fuck just happened? Did you have a stroke? This is not how bonuses work. I was outraged by this. I took your story.
Clearly.
I hijacked this. I can't believe this crap. Would you like a happier title? Would you like a happier topic?
Something.
We all love Superman, right? Big fan
Sure.
of the original Christopher Reeve Superman. The 1978 movie is actually being now preserved on next level new technology of storage. It is going to be 75.6 gigabytes of data stored on a piece of glass the size of a square index card. And
Oh,
the
it's
first
just like
movie-
the Superman crystals. That's
Yes!
adorable.
Fortress of Solitude. Yay.
This also, I thought I heard about this like 4 years ago. Are you sure this is new?
This is actually happening though. This is the first movie to be preserved with it. There's other data that's stored that has been preserved.
I
this
heard
way,
about them specifically doing this with Superman like a while ago, I thought. Unless I'm crazy.
It says this particular storage solution will help protect movies beyond the life of the actual film they've been recorded on, or beyond the power demands of live servers. And I just wonder are we really worried about the movies not being available?
Yes. No, honestly, yes.
That is a real concern.
It's a very big concern.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of movies, even recent movies from even the 70s, right, are sitting on film in a storage container somewhere in a studio's basement, not being cared for. There's a huge push right now within the film industry to preserve movies, because some of them are losing their quality. Some of them are now gone forever.
So we're going to put it on glass, and apparently this is very, very tough glass.
Yes.
It is still glass. we're taking it off of servers, which don't take up any space. I mean, really.
Yeah.
And we're going to go back to physical space.
I think the point is, CJ's point is a lot like, okay, Superman probably not the best example, but a lot of these movies are not digital. They're not on a server anywhere. They're still on 35 millimeter film, degrading slowly as time moves on. And a lot of it is actual like classic movies, even as recent as the 70s and 80s. I will say this, even if, like, let's say Superman is on a server somewhere, let's be real, because it's had 4 releases. But you and I both know that servers are not infallible, and that data is just as susceptible to being corrupted or deleted or screwed up as anything else. So I don't know. I don't know what Glass is going to do to change that, but still.
Yeah, I mean, we also talked about too a couple weeks ago that VHS tapes are also now reaching the end of their actual shelf life, right? And some of these movies have been taken from format to format to format to try to preserve it. And every time we do that, we're losing quality. Now, when I honestly go look at even a Blu-ray, right, or a laser disc of Superman, what are the odds it's 75 gigs worth of data, right? Like pretty slim to none, right? So I don't know where they're getting such a large file from, but that is a great way to future-proof a film to be available in whatever kind of future technology we have to watch this, and no matter what the encoder is going to be to handle a movie like that.
Like 4K, correct me if I'm wrong, but like the 4K movies are like, what, 8 gigs?
10 gigs, yeah.
Yeah.
The big part with Blu-ray isn't so much the image quality, Brian, but correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's the audio, right? That's the bigger part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's where a lot of the heft comes from. So, I mean, imagine taking something that was filmed in 1978 and knowing that it takes 75 gigs worth of data. Like, you probably have master tracks of everything. So it even is probably at a better quality than what is on that server.
Okay, but why glass?
Because Microsoft said, hey, let's make it glass. And they were like okay. It's better than a Zune. I mean, we can store it on Zunes, but no one's going to be able to do anything with them, so let's put it on glass. Why glass? Because Superman, it was on the Fortress of Solitude, and things were in glass. It's sci-fi that's real, Josh. Don't look the gift horse in the mouth. It's sci-fi that's real.
I think the first problem is you view this as a gift.
What, is this a curse? Is there a...
I didn't say it was a curse, but I'm just saying.
Wait, no, what do you say? I'm very confused. That was very ominous. What's happening?
Just saying.
What do you know that I don't know?
So much.
Well,
so much.
Two of the Shay. All right. Is that it?
Sure.
All right. Guys, let's talk for a quick second about my favorite company in the world. Let's talk about Samsung. So Samsung made the Samsung Galaxy S10, and let me just double check here. Yep, it hasn't exploded yet, which is good, but it's back in the news. So what Samsung decided to do was take the Samsung Galaxy S10 and put it in space. They were going to put it in space in a satellite that they called it the space selfie. What it was is if you owned a Samsung Galaxy S10, you could send a picture to the satellite, and it would take a selfie of your face in space. You following me so far?
No.
Because why? Why would you do this, correct?
You're sending your phone into space?
No, there is a Samsung Galaxy S10 up in space. You from Earth.
What I understand is that I'm getting a rocket.
Yes, when you buy a Samsung...
And the ability to launch things into space.
Correct. When you buy a Samsung Galaxy S10, they give you 7 Note 7s that will, of course, explode and lift your S10 into space.
Right.
So you send your picture to this S10 in space. It puts it on a screen on this selfie satellite. The S10 then takes a picture of the satellite with your face on it. And now, hey, you got a picture of your face in space.
Because, like, the space filter isn't good enough?
Yep. But with all things Samsung, it, of course, comes crashing down to Earth. And I don't mean that metaphorically. I mean that physically. A few weeks ago, Samsung's selfie satellite just fell in the middle of Garrett County in the United States, in the middle of a farm in Michigan.
Gratiot County.
Gratiot County? My apologies. I can't pronounce things, but just...
Into the backyard there of Nancy Mumby Welke, who I'm saying isn't a real person.
That's a made-up name.
They're trying to hide the fact that it's Mom and Pa Ken.
It's witness protection. That's what it really is.
That's right. That's right. This was Superman.
They weren't in Michigan. They were in Kansas.
They were in
I
Kansas.
want to know what, like, Samsung doesn't, to my knowledge, like satellites or rockets or anything. Do they?
I mean, they make everything. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but they made the satellite, I think.
Oh, dude, the whole damn thing. It wasn't like a phone fell. It was like
No, it was the whole satellite fell.
Oh,
it was some German company, right?
I don't know. I just you know those cartoons where people keep stepping on the rake and it pops up and smacks them in the face.
Yes.
That's kind of. I wonder how many rakes Samsung has laying around.
Or the Charlie Brown Lucy thing. Every time he goes to get the football,
she swipes the football away.
Just pulls it out from underneath him. Yeah, I don't know how many times Samsung's going to keep doing this until they're like, maybe it should stop kicking the football.
Like it's, I don't know. Once a month, it's Samsung stepped on its dick day. What happened?
Here's the bigger thing that I have. There are thousands of man-made objects that fall to Earth annually, right? And this one fell in the middle of a farm in Michigan. Not once have I heard of something falling from space and killing a person. Aren't we due for one? And if we are, isn't Samsung the prime company to have that happen to them? Aren't they the number one candidate for, oh man, we had phones explode and then we just killed somebody?
In fairness to Samsung, I don't really think you can blame Samsung for something falling from space.
Correct. However, I can blame Samsung for wanting to send it up to space in the first place.
It's a harebrained, it's a bad idea, like, to begin with. I don't know if Samsung gets the Darwin Award. It's a bad idea.
Well, I think in honor of that, we should then get our own weather balloon satellite thingamabob and just send a flash drive of our podcast up into space. Or we put it on glass from Microsoft. There we go. We put it on glass from Microsoft and shoot it out into space. And then when the aliens come, they'll start with us first.
Yeah, no. Whatever happened to time capsules? Wasn't that like a marketing thing?
Whatever happened?
They're all buried. They're all buried in like in the backyard of your elementary.
Fine,
school.
we can do that. Because when the mole men find it, I can take some mole men. I'm not so sure I can take aliens.
Got like crayons and Elmer's glue in him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Ironically enough, Brian, when you thought that, it reminded me of something. That a New Hampshire town had a time capsule that was 50 years old, and they opened it up and it was completely empty. Completely empty.
Someone busted in there and took all the shit.
No, they had two, one for display, and then one that actually was a time.
Buried the display one,
and they buried the display one that had nothing.
Wow, stupid.
Yep. So somewhere out there, they have like an actual time capsule from like the moon landing and everything, and they just like took it in.
Nah, that shit got thrown away. But the two dudes who were in charge of burying it, going, "Hey, do you remember which one had the stuff in it?" That's the funny part.
There we go. Alrighty.
Why wouldn't you just bury them both and be safe?
I don't know, man. They don't have a permit for that.
They only dug the hole big enough for one time capsule. And that would have been double the work.
All right. Well, listeners, I want to say thank you for this journey because it was fun. I can't say Femme Fatale. I just can't do it. I had to learn tonight. I appreciate you so much for making us your walk around your neighborhood or your drive to work. And I've got one more thing for you. You, this month, can actually vote for our Patreon exclusive spoiler cast, even if you're not a patron. Tell us what movie to see, and then once you decide, become a patron and get that exclusive episode. Go to patreon.com/thatkindofnerd. Go vote, and then go sign up. We can't appreciate your support anymore, so I'm just going to let you go ahead and say thank you so much for making us your walk around your neighborhood or your drive to work, and we will talk to you next week.
Well, welcome to the club because you are that kind of nerd.
So I would just like the record to reflect that we have a little bit of a situation. I am completely out of seltzer.
That is a situation.
I thought I had a whole nother case. I do not. So,
Well,
What?
I guess I'm just stuck being me because I have no seltzer.
problems.
So enjoy that. I want to now turn around to the internet to get...
Every now and then I get a little lonely and you never come around.
We went Bonnie Tyler?
Yeah, it's the right call. It was the right call.